What's happening, guys? It's like still back today with the part two of the Kakashi trilogy. As I said, the community post a couple days ago. With me again, I have Dago Knight. Say hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So again, part two. This time we are doing DMS Kakashi versus the God tier opponents. And when we say God tier opponents, we mean everybody from Juito all the way to Kaguya, and that's where we're going to cut off at. We're not going to cover any Boruto God tier opponents. This is just strictly the end of the war arc opponents. So Jubito, 8 Gates guy, Jubidara, Sasuke with the Renegon, 6 Paths Naruto, and then Kaguya. So I don't think we really need to go over the abilities of all these characters. I'm pretty sure if you're a fan of Naruto, you'll know them, and if you don't, we'll just kind of go as we go cover this video. So, Daigo, you got anything before we get started?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. DMS Kakashi. I think it's good for us to establish the time limits he has beforehand, which we kind of agreed upon before the video started.
Yeah, it was about like what five minutes. We said the upper
Yeah,
limit.
you think he has a bigger time limit? I argue he has a lower time limit, so we kind of reached an agreement like 5 minutes, like an intermediate time limit, which I think is still pretty fair and in universe actually a decent amount of time.
Yeah, 5 minutes is a long time in a fight like this. Um, so yeah, I totally agree. Like 5 minutes is like a good upper limit for Kakashi. So first we're go ahead and just go ahead and start covering Jubito, and so this one I think is I think Kakashi's got this one in the bag for the most part. I think Jubito is a definite tough opponent for Kakashi, just like he would be for anybody. But I I mean, even though it's his own ability, Jubito doesn't really have much counters to Kamui and Kakashi arsenal.
Yeah, some people may argue that Obito can still do the thing he did when Kakashi was trying to Kamui the Geto Mazo away and just cancel Kakashi's Kamui, but he never uses Kamui once in any shape or form as the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, so I don't think he can counter Kamui just by negating it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna
Um,
say too, because like if like he does mention that he can't phase through any of the attacks, so I feel like if that is the case, like Kamui should be sort of rendered useless in any capacity. I mean, I guess it would just make sense that he can't like use Kamui like either way, even if he can't phase, because phasing was his whole thing. So the fact that it's completely just stripped away from him once he's in Ten Tail state, like I just don't think he'd be able to really use. I mean, maybe that's stretching it a bit. Maybe that's like headcanon. I don't know.
yeah, but he never uses any shape of Kamui ever again when he is the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, like
Yeah,
sucking somebody into the Kamui dimension, never. So yeah, it's pretty safe to say that he doesn't have access to Kamui in that state.
yeah.
And like his go-to are the truth-seeking orbs, which we could see Kakashi taking good care of in
Hmm.
the fight against Jubidara when Guy was fighting him. He was able to Kamui them away very casually. And even if you argue that Obito is immune to ninjutsu, you have to use Sei attack him or Taijutsu. Kamui is an exception to all that because yeah, it was Kamuing truth-seeking orbs, a KK Mora,
Hmm.
and Kakashi was tagging Kaguya with his Kamui Raikiri, so he has very easy means to tag and damage Obito.
I was like, Kamui just completely just negates all physical like matter. It just kind of
Yeah.
cuts through and then bam, goodbye. So it's kind of different when you're talking about this kind of ability. And so I get people's arguments that you kind of need Sage Jutsu or Tai Jutsu. Again, Kamui just completely—it's like a freaking cheat code in Naruto, like without a
Yeah.
doubt.
And Kakashi can phase through stuff, even if Obito puts a barrier of truth-seeking orbs around him, he can just
Mhm.
like pass through the truth-seeking orbs and hit Obito from within. And we know DMS Kakashi is faster than. I think we're gonna get into Kakashi's speed more later when he's fighting against some other opponents, and he
Mhm.
has some very interesting feats. But it's very safe to say that Kakashi out to the other week.
Yeah, I agree. So, I didn't want to like sleep on Obito because I mean Jubito is no one like nothing to sleep on. But again, this Kakashi's just I don't know. He's kind of hacks. So,
Yeah.
so we can go move on. So now we'll go into 8 Gates guy, and this one is I mean they're both gonna be coming off sweating. Like it is that crazy of a fight in my Daigo. What do you think?
So what I think happens in this fight is that none of them can hit the other because Guy is faster than 8 Gates. Guy is the fastest character. He can bend space with sheer speed, and sure that was with a Night Guy, but he was running circles around Jubidara with the Evening Elephant. It was pretty insane. However, Kakashi can phase through. anything Guy throws at him, the Kamui thing, and then Guy simply can't hit him. Meanwhile, Guy can simply dodge everything Kakashi throws at him, unless like Guy is very stupid and just runs into Kakashi's jutsu, which I don't really see him doing. So I think this fight comes down to the time limit. Like whoever runs out of steam first,
Yeah.
will win.
Yeah, I could see people saying like Guy would probably still do that anyway, but like, look, Guy may not remember faces, but he's not that stupid. Like,
And he trained his entire life to fight against Kakashi.
yeah, like he made it like he was confident in getting ready to fight Itachi because of how well he knew how the Sharingan worked, or at least the base Sharingan. So like, I understand. Like, Guy's like really smart, a lot more smarter than people give him credit for. So, no, I wouldn't expect him just to kind of like, just charge in with having no preparation of having to maybe a dodge attack if it's coming at him. So, so like you said, like neither one of them can really hit the other person because their defenses are just so hacks. But I think, me personally, I think that because of how smart Kakashi is, and again, like you said, Guy's not an idiot, but Kakashi's definitely smarter.
Oh yeah.
And so I think with how meticulous Kakashi is and the hacks that he has at his disposal at the moment, I think he'd be able to outlast Guy in terms of like durability and the duration of the 8 gate.
Yeah, and he has more versatility as well because he has 1,000 jutsus that he copied. And even though they may not be impactful in terms of dealing damage, you were talking about this before we started the video, but Kakashi can, in theory, Kamui into the Kamui dimension and just for a Guy to die.
Yeah.
And then return. And he can use several of his jutsus as distractions, not necessarily the Kamui stuff, to make sure a Guy wouldn't be able to see him Kamui. And also, Guy struggles a lot more using the 8 gates than Kakashi struggles with the dual Mangekyo Sharingan.
That is true.
Guy's like suffering a lot of pain, so there's that distraction.
I would say Kakashi would.
Madara,
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. When Madara's being assaulted for the first time, Guy's about to deal the combo, the Evening Elephant combo, and he cracks his arm, and then he stops for a second because...
Yeah. Well, let's say Kakashi doesn't start feeling the effects of the Sharingan until after it's gone. So, like,
yeah,
so
exactly.
he'd be okay until, like I said, Guy does get distracted. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really impressive that Guy just kind of tanks it as he's going, but still, it does hurt him in the fight. We clearly see that. So yeah, I think Kakashi can outlast, in terms of duration. And I think he wins. At the very least, he wins for that if he's not able to actually just outright Kamui Guy. So I think Kakashi takes this mid to high diff, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
All right. So now we'll go on to Jubidara. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where it starts getting crazy. So I guess we'll do 2 versions real quick just for the sake of like covering everything we can. With what the guy, the Madara that fought Guy with the one Rinnegan, and then the second version will be full Rinnegan Madara.
And there's also like God Tree Madara, but I never thought that the God Tree gave Madara that much of a boost. So
yeah, we're not gonna be that
same Madara.
Yeah, we're not gonna be that pedantic about it. So Daigo, I mean, what do you think of the one Rinnegan?
So I think Kakashi has a very tough time here. Madara is a very powerful ninja, arguably as smart as Kakashi is, definitely more experienced. And the main issue here is that Madara has Limbo, which Kakashi cannot see.
Yep.
You brought up a very interesting argument of Kakashi having a bit of Six Paths chakra, and maybe he would be able to sense the Limbo clone, but I don't think he would.
No,
there was much more Naruto with the Sage of Six Paths chakra, and we kind of just like the idea.
Yeah, I had thought about it earlier today, actually, and it was like one of those things where like I don't think it's likely, but it's one of those on the table possibilities.
Yeah.
Like if anything, it may Kakashi. I was thinking that it may just work through his vision. But I don't think that's the case. I think it was the Rinnegan specifically that was enabling Sasuke to see the Limbo.
Yeah, Madara was pretty sure his own Rinnegan would be able to see his Limbo clones because he's not using Limbo when Obito still has his Rinnegan. And then, obviously, Naruto can sense the Limbo clone because of the Sage of Six Paths in Jutsu. And Sasuke can see it because of his Rinnegan, but I don't see Kakashi seeing the Limbo clone.
Right.
And Limbo clones are insanely overpowered.
They are.
When Madara was not the Jinchuriki of the 10 tails, he was one-shotting every single tail beast casually with a punch from the Limbo clone. So I can still see like the Limbo clone kind of cracking Kakashi's Susanoo if he used it to protect himself.
Yeah.
If the Limbo clone can just like face through the Susanoo and just punch Kakashi from within, which maybe it can do because it's not really in this dimension. It's kind of crazy stuff.
It's a possibility. I could definitely see that. And I mean, like I said, point being, like, I mean, even if it's just one Renegon or even two Renegon, I guess we could just, like, go ahead and just casually go into the dual Renegon
Yeah,
monitor too.
no
Cause,
chance for Kakashi.
yeah,
Here.
because like we were just thinking like he could drop meteors to distract Kakashi while while the four limbos now are on the field, also trying to
Yeah.
deal damage to Kakashi Susanoo.
And there's nothing Kakashi can do about that. And arguably, like, Madara would also be able to do the meteor thing in his one Rinnegan state. I don't see why he wouldn't. Maybe he wouldn't be able to do as many, but did two when he was in Edo Tensei
Yeah.
without the tail beast.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So well, okay. So let's like say what do you think Kakashi could do? Like,
Kakashi's strategy here, he would have to figure out the Limbo clone somehow and wait for it to go back into Madara's body because there's a cooldown. That Sasuke figures it out because it can see it. So maybe Kakashi can think about a possibility that there's this, well, incorporeal clone that goes back to Madara's body, and if he deciphers that, he has to use that window of opportunity to approach Madara, Kamui away the truth-seeking orbs to, like, open up Madara's shield, and then Kamui Raikiri Madara with a lucky shot that, like, beheads Madara. Because if Madara doesn't get beheaded, then he's just going to regenerate. Like, his regeneration is insane. Sasuke cuts him in half. He's just fine.
Yeah. So what would happen?
Destroys him.
Yeah.
He's just fine.
So what would have to happen is if he had that window of opportunity, if he was able to, like, say, Kamui Lightning Blade, Madara's like top half, he would have to immediately, like, follow up an attack with his, like, eye Kamui, like his long range Kamui, to try to Kamui Madara's upper half, like, right away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he does what Sasuke did and, like, cuts him in half, and then Kamui's his upper half into the Kamui dimension.
And even still, like, Sasuke's feat is good, but Madara wasn't trying to defend himself against Sasuke. He was trying to Kamui to get his second Rinnegan. In this situation, he would be fully concentrated on Kakashi, and we saw he was able to casually react to Minato trying to blitz. So, like, I don't really see him being that successful. And even if he gets Kamui, you can argue he could maybe try and escape Kamui somehow, like reverse summoning that we're going to be talking about later a bit more. If he has a summon available to him, or maybe
as far as I'm aware,
finding out Rinnegan power.
I would say the only thing I can think of, because I don't think he has a summon that we know of, and if he does, I don't know it. So the only thing I can think of is he would have to survive long enough for him, which he is technically. He's kind of technically immortal, I suppose. But I would think,
yeah, he is immortal.
So he might. I mean, this is a long shot. So, but he might end up being able to figure out a way that maybe learn the ability that Sasuke learned in Boruto, where he can just kind of open a portal to another, like, dimension. That would be the only thing I can think of it for Madara being able to get out of Kamui. Other than that, though, I think
it is a stretch, but, like, I think it's also a stretch to assume Kakashi will be able to put him into Kamui at all. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because like he never does that to anyone that's unwilling.
Yeah.
Like he does that to a Naruto shadow clone, and then he does that to like Datara's arm. But obviously Kakashi's Kamui is much faster than he was when he did it to Datara, but also Madara's much faster.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, like, if he's able to combo his upper half, and depending on how close Kakashi is, because the closer you are to the opponent, the quicker it's gonna be. So I feel like if he's right there as he's cutting Madara in half, and he's quick about it, which I think Kakashi would be, then I think it's a solid Kamui, but it is also getting into that is going to be tough for Kakashi.
Yeah, and the thing is, Madara has means to defend himself, even in that situation. Like, he has Shinra Tensei just to blow Kakashi away.
True.
He can maybe expand his Susanoo in that state as well, because he never really uses it in his Jubidara's shame.
Yeah, for real. At least not with it does in the game, but you know, it is what it is.
And like that Susanoo was like it was huge in the game. It was like 10 times bigger than Sasuke's.
I would say it was tough. It was tough to beat that Susanoo. So that Susanoo's no joke. So I think if he used Almighty Push, I think Kakashi might be able to phase through that. And you know what? That might
a possibility too.
That actually might catch Madara off guard. Believe it or not, I think that if he tried to do that and he sees that it didn't work, it might catch him off guard, and Kakashi could still get the bisect. if you will, and then
Yeah,
do the Kamui scenario that was. But again, it's a long shot. I
yeah. Madara also has the Ranto Koga jutsu. I don't remember, but it's the one that kind of shears through Naruto's truth-seeking orbs. And
mhm,
the data book says it's light speed, kind of insane, but
yeah.
whatever. Like it would be tough for Kakashi to react to that. Like Naruto reacted because he had Sage of Six Paths,
Mm.
but like Kakashi, maybe he could face through, but it would definitely crack Kakashi Susanoo if it was like chopping through truth-seeking orb staffs
Yeah.
like it was for Naruto. Yeah, it's just like it's a very difficult fight for Kakashi. I don't think he has a lot of chances here. Like maybe he can get a lucky shot here and there, particular situation, but most
I
of the
think he's a
time,
lot more likely
no.
to beat. I think he's a lot more likely to beat the one Renegon Madara. I think like mid to high diff. Um, but I think a dual Renegon Madara. I think Madara takes it like mid diff, maybe
Well, I
high
think
diff.
for me, honestly, I think like dual Rinnegan Madara takes mid to high diff. Like not the dual like, single Rinnegan Madara, he takes mid to high diff. Like dual Rinnegan Madara take neck. I don't think it's gonna be very hard for Madara at all. Like, he has 4 limbo clones. Uh,
Uh, I'm gonna give
you
it.
can argue like Zetsu would stab him from behind with the 4 limbo clones around him, but that's like, yeah, sure. Then
No, I won't. I won't take that away from Madara because I mean he wasn't expecting Zetsu to just turn on him. So but I still want to give my boy some kind of. I'll give him mid diff. I think Madara takes it
yeah,
mid
that's
diff.
fair.
So now we'll go on to what did you say?
Rinnegan
Sasuke,
Sasuke.
Renegon Sasuke. Yeah. Now this one, y'all, is gonna be crazy. Like I mean, because these are two like in terms of personality and tactics, these guys are the same. And as far as like speed, they're also pretty relative.
And like there are arguments for both sides, but when you compare them to Kaguya, Kakashi actually comes out on top in terms of speed because he actually tags Kaguya with his Raikiri after like phasing through Kaguya's attack,
Mhm.
and she destroys his Susanoo. But Sasuke teleports right next to Kaguya and misses because Kaguya dodges the
Yeah, I
Raikiri.
would say
The story
he tried to get a
message.
jump on her and completely just missed it, and which I thought was crazy. I remember I told Daigo earlier, I was like, I remember reading and watching that in the anime, still thinking like Sasuke should have gotten that hit because I just feel like there's no way, especially since again we're talking about this Kakashi who later on just goes on right in front of her. And I also brought up a good point to Daigo earlier that like I still think it's crazy because whenever Sasuke and Naruto were inches away from sealing, like she was able to react. I mean, granted, Sakura still hit her, but the fact that she was still able to react and try to fly up, but then this Kakashi was coming right at her, still just manages
Yeah,
to blitz her.
and Kaguya was also reacting to Naruto and Sasuke coming at her by shooting them with her bones, and
Hmm.
Kakashi had to kamui them away.
Yeah,
So, like, you can argue Kakashi here, he has better speed feats than Naruto and Sasuke. Um, but you could also argue that Kaguya was caught off guard because she thought she had killed Kakashi with a bone and he just phased through the bone. And she wasn't expecting that because that was literally the first time he used that.
yeah, which is fair,
Um,
which is definitely fair because we were caught off guard. I mean, we as guys were
yeah.
completely caught off guard, honestly. So, so we can't really. I mean, so that is true. That's a fair point. So, I just think
I
that
think it's fair to say that Kakashi and Sasuke are around the same speed level.
yeah, for like 100%. And so like again, this is gonna be like a battle of speed. But the thing is, and I told this to Daigo, I don't think anything aside from Sasuke's body switching jutsu, as far as the Rinnegan abilities, is gonna catch Kakashi off guard because Kakashi kind of knows the abilities of the Rinnegan anyway. So like say if he tries to all universal pull Kakashi to try to soul steal or something like that, like Kakashi can just phase right. So, like soul
Yeah.
stealing, like most of the Rinnegan abilities aren't really gonna work. Chibaku Tensei, same thing. He can just phase right through or teleport into the combo dimension. So like I don't know, nothing really is gonna, as far as the Rinnegan abilities are really gonna catch Kakashi off guard, except for the bodies.
Yeah, when it comes to like a fight of perfect Susanas, which would be very cool to watch, I don't think that's the best thing for Kakashi here because he is on a time limit, and I don't think this is the best way for Kakashi to get a killing blow on Sasuke.
No.
He has the Kami Shuriken, which we haven't been talking a lot about because, sure, it looks really cool, but it's not exactly the most powerful jutsu he has.
Because like the thing
Arguably,
is like
long distance Kami is better.
yeah, because like one of the things like it's not as if like one Kamui Shuriken is gonna like completely teleport a whole Susanoo. Like he's got to throw like like a whole bunch of those things in order to like get rid of something as large as Sasuke's Susanoo. So
Yeah,
so it's one of those things where like
and he can dodge too.
yeah, I
So
would say yeah, I
there's
was gonna
that.
say yeah. So like at worst, like for Sasuke, like he gets a few like chips of his Susanoo teleported away. So like it's not gonna be like oh if he hits Sasuke Susanoo one time it's done for. Like it no, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like granted it's gonna be a bit of a hassle having to chips of your Susanoo being taken away from a combo shuriken. So I just don't like I said
But yeah, it's not gonna end the fight
yeah
per se.
no. So like so like you said like his best chance is to for like the long range combo to be able to land.
Yeah, and like, yeah, they're both very fast. So Kakashi would probably have to approach Hamui Raikiri and then try to strike Sasuke, catching him off guard. Because it can also phase through stuff.
Hmm.
But Sasuke can also use his Amaterasu flame control to try and circumvent Kakashi phasing through. So like when Kakashi's about to hit Sasuke, he uses flame control to hit Kakashi back, so that he has to phase through him.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Something.
a very intricate fight. Like if you give Sasuke and Kakashi all their jutsus, like this could go a billion different
Yeah.
ways.
Well, Daigo brought up a good point too. Is that like Sasuke might be able to use his body switching jutsu the same way he did against Madara, and like plays
Yeah, which
Kakashi
is
in a position to where
it's insane.
like he could teleport Kakashi like right in front of a Chidori, and unless Kakashi's quick enough, which he could be, like there's an argument that Kakashi could like react in enough time. I think I told Daigo I think the best case for Kakashi in that scenario is like he gets a little bit of damage, and like as like Sasuke's starting to pierce Kakashi with the Chidori, like he might be quick enough to phase through the rest of the attack and gets away with like some minimal damage. But
I mean,
that's still a stretch
if you
though.
think about it, like a Minato Jikara used that way is only done once against Jubidara. That one time Naruto and Sasuke hit him with the Chidori Rasengan
Mhm.
and Madara's substitute because like that was gonna kill him because it's too overpowered. Like
Yeah.
teleporting somebody in front of you instantly without them being able to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's
Kakashi
crazy.
could be distracted by Sasuke before he does that because
Yeah.
when Sasuke used that on Madara, like he just uses it. He doesn't do anything beforehand to distract Madara to make him more susceptible.
Yeah.
But like, if you distract Kakashi with a couple of jutsus, maybe you shoot some Asura missiles at Kakashi just to make some smoke
Yeah.
and flare and stuff, and then you use a Minato Jikara like that, like then it's much more likely he's gonna be caught off guard.
Yeah.
Like if a Minato Jikara is a stupid jutsu, like it's so badly written.
Well, and something that we also brought up too is that like whenever, so like say like if we use the argument that Kakashi can just especially since this Kakashi's Kamui speed should be doubled now, which is insane to think about because he was already freaking on the fly with it with just his one Sharingan, but now that is doubled, which I'm not saying it's not possible because I do think it is. But let's say if worst case in Kakashi Sasuke's point of view, that he gets completely kamui'd, like his whole body gets kamui'd in the Kamui. Me and Daigo remember that that may not even help because now that this whole thing
Oh
with
yes.
Sasuke's hawk is able to negate Kaguya's dimension hop, like Sasuke could summon his hawk and reverse summon out of it.
Yeah, Sasuke being able to summon his hawk into Kage's dimension is one of the stupidest things in the Naruto series because, first of all, he's in a different dimension. Like, how can he summon his hawk from Earth
Yeah.
to that dimension? And second, how is the hawk not under Infinite Tsukiyomi? Because we saw every single being on the planet being put into the effects of Infinite Tsukiyomi, especially like a cat, that there's like a focus on that cat.
I know.
So like animals are under the genjutsu as well, so the hawk should be too.
Yeah.
But no.
So, do we agree with it? No, but it did happen, so we kind of have to give him that. So, Kamui, like, unless he Kamui's his head off, it may not work against Sasuke. So, I think at the end of the day, I think it's a crazy fight. This one specifically, I think it's one of the more crazier fights on this list. But, I'm thinking Sasuke takes it. 'Cause I think Sasuke will be able to outlast the time at the very least. There's a chance that Sasuke could land the kill on Kakashi before the time limit's done, but
Yeah, maybe using the Amento Jikara exploit that we talked about.
yeah. But conversely,
But
I
there's
do.
a chance Kakashi takes the fight too. Like
Yeah.
this is up in the air. I think Sasuke has an edge here
Mhm.
overall. Like I think he takes like 6 to 7 out of 10 times.
I completely agree with that. Actually, I think I can totally agree with that because it is not going to be easy for either one of these combatants like at all. Because you got to think they're so versatile and they're so strategic that they're basically the same person, just with crazy, different but crazy moveset. So yeah, I think I agree with that. 6 out of 10. Sasuke takes it. So now we can go on
Naruto.
Naruto, yeah, six pack Naruto. So, now Daigo, you want to take the lead on this one? You know, because
Yeah, Kakashi doesn't have a chance in this
yeah,
one.
I used to think that Kakashi could take it, but then I thought about it for a minute. I was like, you know what, Naruto's kind of crazy. I mean, KCM2
It's
was
not a
already
good match for Kakashi. Like it's the worst possible match for Kakashi because Naruto can create 5,000 shadow, and then like Kakashi's a time limit. He doesn't have all the time in the world to kill all those clones and get to the real Naruto, and then Naruto can create more clones. And full Kakashi doesn't know where his real body's gonna be.
hmm
Uh, that's
On top
difficult
of
for
that, he could
Kakashi.
summon like okay, so like let's say for example, he could summon I don't know how many shadow clones on the ground, but also he probably still have enough chakra to summon 3 giant Kurama avatars if needed to. And what's
Yeah,
Kakashi gonna
at
do?
least like Naruto and Sasuke, their chakra was pretty depleted
Yeah,
in the final battle. So if you give Naruto, a fresh start for this fight, like it's insane.
yeah.
Like he can create a massive amount of clones.
Now, having said all that, I do think that Kakashi could still outlast until his time limit is expired. Because I think
Yes.
Kakashi's durability and his strategic thinking, I think he's definitely able to survive long enough for the time limit to come out. But again, like that's it. I feel like that's like the best case scenario for. Well, no, I won't say that. Like, I will say that he could get a lucky draw in as far as like a combo, but that would have to be really lucky. Again, if Naruto really wanted to go all out, he could just summon I don't know how many shadow clones and then just I don't know. Like I think honestly his
Hang
best
back and wait for
yeah
Kakashi to run out
like his
chakra.
best chance is to hope that Naruto maybe just summons like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 Kurama avatars and just have like a Susanoo battle because then there's only 3 targets you could choose from. You know what I'm saying? So like
Mm-hmm.
I think the Susanoo avatar might be his best bet as far as like actually straight up winning the fight. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if you agree with that. I
Yeah.
think it'd be easier.
I don't think Naruto would start by using those because he never does so.
No, no,
He
no.
usually just starts with normal clones.
But if it got
And
that,
then here,
but if it got that far, do you think like
it will probably not even get that far because Kakashi doesn't have a lot of time. 'Cause,
yeah,
like I definitely see him being able to last until he runs out of chakra because he can phase through things and he's pretty fast too. But
yeah,
like
but I feel like
not gonna kill Naruto.
but
The
I feel
real
like
one's
Kakashi
gonna
might.
be
Well, I feel like the Kakashi might actually just go ahead and use the Susanoo because he knows who he's up against. Like he's like maybe like the best chance I have is to use my Susanoo. So I think that doing that might prompt Naruto to use the Kurama avatar. Like
meh.
maybe I don't
It's
know.
like
That's what
like,
I
I don't
think.
think he. Yeah, like Naruto's reaction to Sasuke activating his perfect Susanoo is to bring the Kurama Avatar out in the Valley of the End. So maybe, but like
If it
that
got
was a
that far,
very different fight.
no, I know. But if it got that far, what do you think? You think that Kakashi? It might be easier for Kakashi to do so.
I think so. Like if it's a straight fight between the Kurama Avatar against Kakashi Susanoo, it's more doable for Kakashi, but still very difficult.
Yeah.
I don't really see Kakashi.
No, I mean unless he just cut like yeah actually because again he'd have to throw like a whole bunch of combo shurikens at the Kurama avatar to like get a significant
Yeah.
amount of it away. So yeah, I agree.
And Naruto's also really fast too.
Yeah, and plus he's got all the freaking tail beast powers too. So it's definitely yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Like Naruto takes this one high or
No, I
low.
think it's interesting because Kakashi definitely outlasts Naruto until he runs out of chakra, and then he loses.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything other than this happening here, really, unless Naruto really fights in a really
all
dumb way.
out. Yeah.
But then when you go back to the Sasuke, it's more interesting because there are more possibilities. Like Kakashi can either kill Sasuke, Sasuke can kill Kakashi, or Sasuke can outlast Kakashi. So I can see Kakashi actually dealing a finishing blow on Sasuke, but not on Naruto.
Yeah, because Naruto's like you think you're hitting him, like then it's just a clone. So
Yeah.
like, and that's gonna be the case with 1,000 of them. So
Or more.
yeah, or more. Yeah. So yeah, I think Naruto takes this one like low, maybe highballing it mid.
Yeah.
So so now we're going to Kaguya, and honestly, this might be the shortest one of the whole video, just because I think Kaguya is just like, I mean, if Kakashi's gonna have a hard time dealing with Naruto and Sasuke, I mean, Kaguya is not any. Now I'm not gonna sleep on Kakashi. I'm just saying, like, I think he can hold his own in the time limit still, but again,
I think the problem is that Kaguya seems to be unkillable because, as we were talking about before, Naruto and Sasuke had to seal her.
yeah,
Hagoromo didn't tell them, kill her in that way or this way.
yeah,
No,
just
they
like
have to seal her.
yeah, just cut her head off. Like yeah, but like, he didn't tell you. He's like he literally had to go through the trouble of like telling them to go seal her. Now we did say that was probably because the tail beasts were still inside Kak, so like maybe that was the reason. Like the only way to get the tail beast out was to seal her. But like again, he didn't bring up the fact that like, oh no, you have to seal her, like, or you can't.
And to be fair, Madara was also the same here because originally they were going to use that on Madara when he was the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kaguya, if you give Kaguya mortality, if she can be killed like by cutting her head off, I think Kakashi has a chance because Kaguya's dumb.
Yeah.
Like Kaguya is the dumbest character in the Naruto
Like
series.
Zetsu pretty much was her brain, and so
Yeah, if you don't give her Zetsu in the fight against Kakashi, I think Kakashi has a chance.
yeah,
Because
because he was able to speed blitz her, like he was able to tag her, like so.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sleeping on Kakashi. I just think that by himself, like one-on-one, Kakashi is definitely going to be like, a lot more of a hassle to deal with than she was when he had two other god tier opponents helping him. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so I'm not saying it's not possible, and honestly, but the thing is like Kamui is not going to be effective here because she could just dimension hop. So
Yeah, you have to just cut her head off.
Yeah.
If feasible.
so Kakashi's going to have to rely on the fact that she's not strategic, which it could work. It definitely could work. So I just think that all of her abilities are just so freaking ridiculous.
Like, if you give Kaguya mortality, I think Kakashi has a much higher chance of killing her than dual Rinnegan Jubidara. Like a much higher chance.
Yeah, because again, she's not really smart and she's susceptible to being caught off guard. I mean,
and the Limbo clones are just insanely difficult to deal with.
yeah.
Like,
So okay, so like now that we think about it, so like I don't know. Do you think you want to say that Kakashi could take it? Like
if you give Kaguya, if you can kill her by cutting her head off, like he has a chance. I'm not saying he's gonna win every time. Like maybe like 1 or 2 out of 10, but he has a chance.
Okay, I can agree with that. If I'm gonna highball my boy, I'm gonna say 3 to 4.
I can respect that. Yeah, that's maybe 7. Like
Because I could see her doing the same thing that she did in the main series, like Kakashi using his Susanoo, and then her like thinking that she hit him,
Yeah.
and then him just speed blitzing her head off.
And the thing is, even when Kaguya was using her dimension thing to shoot the bones from odd angle, Kakashi was able to react to those and Kamui the holes away,
Yeah,
like negating that.
which I thought that was
So
crazy.
he has a pretty good counter to Kaguya's dimension thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I could see like 3 to 4. I'd say I'd say.
Yeah. If
So-
she can't be killed, like if she's immortal, then you
Yeah.
can't do much about that.
Yeah, I would say if you give her that mortality lag, I guess, then yeah, I think Kakashi has a much easier time, like you said. But if she can't, then yeah, Kakashi's gonna have to just play defense and just hope that he can at least survive for like 5 more
Yeah.
minutes.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I think that's about it. Daigo, you got anything more you gotta say?
No, yeah, I think this was an interesting video.
Yeah, this
All
is,
the powerful ninjas in the verse.
I was about to say.
Just miss Hikaku Uchiha. Hikaku obviously stopped.
Hey, you know what?